Log Entry 774A. Commander Viral of the Threxian Vanguard reporting. If this log is recovered, please, for the sake of whatever poor species finds it, do not invade the place called Australia. Yes, I know how that sounds. We are the Threxians. We conquered the frozen moons of Karth. We broke the orbital defenses of Helion Prime in under 6 hours. Our elite unit, the Iron Talons, has never lost a planetary assault. Until this. It started as a joke. High Command projected a blue-green world, full of open land, scattered population centers, and what they called low-threat fauna. The analysts actually laughed. One of them said, and I quote, "The dominant life forms appear soft. No natural armor. No plasma resistance. This will be a demonstration, not a battle." Someone else zoomed in on a region labeled Australia. Minimal population density, they said. Perfect landing zone. Perfect. I should have known something was wrong when the human we intercepted laughed. Not screamed. Not begged. Laughed. Her name was Mira Holt, civilian pilot. We pulled her from the upper atmosphere during a routine scan. Standard procedure. Interrogate, extract data, proceed with invasion. Simple. We showed her our fleet. Thousands of warships blotting out the stars. Enough firepower to crack continents. We expected fear. She leaned back in her restraint field, tilted her head, and said, "Oh wow, you guys picked Australia? That's brave. Brave." I asked her to clarify. She smiled. Actually smiled. "You're not going to bomb it first, right?" I told her that was unnecessary. Our ground forces were more than capable. She laughed again. A short, sharp sound. "Yeah, okay. Good luck with that." I remember feeling irritation, maybe even amusement. Humans often use humor when afraid. It's a coping mechanism. This was not that. This was something else. We deployed at dawn. The Iron Talons descended in perfect formation. Drop pods streaked through the atmosphere, cutting across the sky like burning spears. Tactical readouts showed no organized resistance, no military buildup, just open land, red soil, dry air, strange plant life. Quiet. Too quiet. Captain Rax, my second in command, reported from the surface. Area secure. No hostiles detected. Proceeding with forward sweep. Everything was going according to plan. For exactly 4 minutes. Then the screaming started. At first, we thought it was a comm malfunction. Static. Distortion. Then we realized, no, those were our soldiers. "Something just took Luro," one of them shouted. "It moved, I didn't even see." The transmission cut off. Another voice came through, panicked. "Multiple contacts. Small, fast, jumping. Cut." I ordered aerial drones to deploy. Hundreds of them. The feeds came in, and, for a moment, I did not understand what I was seeing. Creatures. Large. Muscular. Standing on 2 legs, but not like humans. Their hind limbs were massive. Tails balancing their bodies. They moved in bursts, sudden, explosive. One of them slammed into a Talon soldier mid-step. The impact snapped his armor plating. Snapped it. Our armor is rated against kinetic artillery. The creature hit him and sent him flying. "What is that?" Rax asked. The drone zoomed in. Database cross-reference returned name. Kangaroo. I blinked. That couldn't be right. It looked almost absurd. A creature built like a child's toy. Upright. Soft exterior. No visible weapons. Then it kicked again. Another soldier went down. Hard. Neutralize them. Rax ordered. Plasma fire lit up the field. Several of the creatures dropped. But the rest didn't retreat. They advanced. Fast. Too fast. "Why are they coming closer?" someone yelled. "Because you landed in their home." Another voice said, calm, steady. Mira. She was still in orbit. Still watching through the observation deck beside me. She crossed her arms. "Those are the chill ones, by the way. The chill ones." I didn't respond. I couldn't. Because the situation was escalating. New signals appeared on the scanners. Heat signatures. Dozens. No, hundreds. From the ground. From the trees. From underground. Rax's voice returned, strained. "Commander, we have additional wildlife." A soldier screamed. "Something's on me. It's got too many legs, get it off." The audio dissolved into frantic noise. Another feed showed a Talon, thrashing on the ground. A small creature clung to his arm. It looked insignificant, tiny, until the bioskin spiked. Venom. The soldier stopped moving within seconds. Identify, I ordered. The system replied. Sydney funnel web spider. I stared at the display. A spider. A small ground-based, 8-legged organism, just neutralized an elite Threxian warrior in full combat armor. That one's nasty, Mira said casually. You really don't want to mess with those. I turned to her. Why are you not afraid? She looked at me like I'd asked a ridiculous question. Of you? Of Australia? I didn't answer, because below us, the iron talons were falling apart. Explosions, gunfire, shouting, creatures everywhere. Something long and scaled lunged from the waterline, dragging a soldier under before he could react. Crocodile, Mira said. Another unit reported movement in the grass. Then silence. Then nothing. Snake, she added. Every word she spoke matched a death on the screen. This planet, I muttered. She shook her head. Nah, just that part of it. I felt something unfamiliar then. Not fear, not yet, but doubt. Real, sharp doubt. Because for the first time in my career, the battlefield wasn't responding to logic. It wasn't strategy. It wasn't resistance. It was survival of something far more aggressive than us. And we had just stepped into it, like fools. Rax's voice came through one last time. Commander, permission to retreat. Behind him, something roared. Loud, deep, close. He turned. The feed cut. Silence. I looked at Mira. She gave a small shrug. Yeah, she said softly. You should have bombed it. Log entry 774B. Commander Viral. Continuing with what remains of this report. We lost contact with Captain Rax at 6:12 local time. By 06:20, the Iron Talons, the best ground unit we had, were no longer a unit. Just scattered signals. Panic. Static. Then silence. Complete silence. I stood in the command deck, staring at the surface feed, waiting for something, anything that looked like control. There was none. Only movement. Erratic. Violent. Unpredictable movement. Deploy reinforcements, I ordered. No one moved. My tactical officer, Juno, hesitated. Actually hesitated. A Threxian officer, questioning an order in the middle of an operation. Commander, with respect, reinforcements will just add to the casualties. I turned slowly. Explain. She swallowed. The environment is not neutral. It's actively hostile. Every life form is acting like a weapon. Mira let out a quiet chuckle beside me. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate summary. I ignored her. At least, I tried to. Then we adapt, I said. Full aerial suppression. Burn the landing zone. Eliminate all biological threats. Juno nodded reluctantly and relayed the command. Our ships shifted position. Energy cannons charged. The sky above Australia turned bright. Then we fired. Beams of plasma rained down. Precise. Devastating. Entire sections of land ignited. Vegetation vaporized. Heat signatures dropped across the board. For a moment, it worked. The movement slowed. The chaos calmed. I exhaled. Finally, something predictable. Then the ground moved. Not metaphorically. Not sensor error. Actually moved. What is that? Juno whispered. The soil rippled like something massive was pushing beneath it. Mira leaned forward. Oh, wow, you guys really went all in, huh? I snapped. What is it? She didn't look at me. Her eyes were locked on the screen. That is called a bushfire starter moment. I didn't understand. Not yet. Then the heat readings spiked. Wildly. Uncontrollably. Flames spread, not randomly, but fast, unbelievably fast. Wind picked up. Dry land ignited like fuel. Within seconds, the entire zone became an inferno. That's not possible, Juno said. We didn't target that area. You didn't have to, Mira replied. Australia does the rest. The fire didn't just burn. It hunted. It moved with the wind, leaping across distances, surrounding anything left alive. Our surviving units, the few that remained, were now trapped between flame and everything else. And the wildlife? They didn't disappear. They adapted. Thermal scans showed movement inside the fire zones. Creatures fleeing, Yes, but also circling, redirecting, pushing toward our troops. I felt it then. Not doubt. Fear. Actual fear. Recall all units, I ordered. Immediate evacuation. Juno hesitated again. Commander, there are almost no units left to recall. Do it anyway. Signals went out. A few responses came back. Weak. Broken. One soldier, barely audible. Sky something in the sky. I looked up at the aerial feed. Dark shapes. Large wings. Slow circles. What now? I muttered. Mira didn't even sound surprised. Birds. Birds. Of course. One of the creatures dove. Fast. It struck a fleeing soldier, lifted him, then dropped him from a height that shattered his armor on impact. Another swooped in, claws extended. Those are eagles, Mira said. They're kind of jerks. Kind of jerks. I stared at the destruction of an elite invasion force, and she called them jerks. Why? Is everything here trying to kill us? I demanded. She finally looked at me, straight in the eyes. Because everything here tries to kill everything, she said simply. You're not special. That hit harder than anything I had seen. Not special. We were the conquerors, the unstoppable force. And this planet, this region, didn't care. It didn't resist us. It consumed us. Juno's voice broke through. Commander, we are losing atmospheric stability in lower sectors. The firestorms are creating turbulence. We cannot safely maintain low orbit. I clench my claws, then pull back. All ships retreat to high orbit. For the first time since the invasion began, I gave an order I had never given before. Retreat. Our fleet rose. Slowly at first, then faster, breaking away from the burning surface below. I watched as the fires spread, as the land seemed to swallow the last traces of our presence. No pursuit. No counterattack, just indifference. We were gone, and Australia kept burning, silently, naturally, like it always had. Minutes passed. No one spoke. Finally, I turned to Mira. You knew, I said. She nodded. Yeah, you let us proceed. She shrugged. You didn't exactly ask for advice. I stared at her. You could have warned us. She smiled again. Not cruel, not kind, just knowing. I did, she said. You thought I was joking. I had no response. Because she was right. We dismissed her. We dismissed everything. And we paid for it. I activated the fleet-wide channel. This is Commander Viral, I said. My voice steady, but different now. All units mark this world as high risk. Specifically, the region designated Australia. I paused, then added quietly, do not engage. Under any circumstances. Juno glanced at me. Commander, what about the humans? I looked down at the planet, at the fires, at the land that had just defeated us without trying. They live here, I said slowly. That alone makes them something we should not underestimate. Mira crossed her arms, satisfied. Told you. I ended the transmission. Log entry 774B concluded. Final note. We came to conquer a species. Instead, we encountered a place where even the ground, the air, and the smallest creatures fight like apex predators. And the humans? They don't just survive it. They call home. End of report. If even the wildlife of Earth can destroy elite alien forces, then just imagine what happens when humans decide to fight. Subscribe for more stories where humanity doesn't just survive, it dominates.